We are happy that you choose to watch Information Less Than Half a Minute. Communication theory is a field of information theory and mathematics that studies the technical process of information and the process of human communication. Today, we have headline news about the communication theory, and let us read first the symbolic interaction by Jarvis Francisco.
Symbolic interactionism is a micro-level theory that focuses on the interaction between individuals.
George Herbert Mead, 1863 to 1931, is considered a founder of symbolic interactionism. This theory happens with these basic premises. Humans interact with things based on meaning ascribed to those things. The ascribed meaning of things comes from our interactions with others and society. The meanings of things in specific circumstances. Thus, symbolic interactionism is very vital upon developing a peaceful society. For example, if you love books, a symbolic interactionist might propose that you had learned that books are good or important interactions you had with family, friend, school, or church. Maybe your family had a special reading time each week.
That has been information less than a half minute about symbolic interaction.
Thank you, Jarvis Francisco. Now, we will talk about the Coordinated Management of Meaning, or CMM. CMM is two people who are interacting socially construct the meaning of their conversation. Generally, it refers to how individuals establish rules for creating and interpreting meaning and how those rules are enmeshed in a conversation where meaning is constantly being coordinated. This theory is important because it is a relationship between the person and the surrounding. It assumes that even though the communication has ended, it will have an ongoing effect. The methodology of CMM are analysis of situated communication, critique of the forms of life that created, recreated, and sustained by the communication, helping practitioner join the clients for creative change. There are three processes of this theory: coherence, coordination, and mystery. Lastly, there are two rules in the CMM. It is the constructive rules that communicators made an interaction to understand events or message from others. Interpretation helps to understand the meaning of the message. While the regulative rules, it is more about how communicator reacts for the message and how they respond or behave towards the message they receive. CMM is truly important in our daily lives, and the beginning of everything was begun by Barnett Cars and Vernon Cronin and was developed in 1980. Now, let us watch the cognitive dissonance theory by Dennis Apuya.
Holding two contradicting thoughts in the mind is called cognitive dissonance, and it results to discomfort of the individual.
It was theorized by Leon Festinger in the 1950s.
The thoughts can either be positive and negative or old and new. Researchers said it can be physically uncomfortable. Our body may show subtle signs of nervousness and tension, but most of all, it can manipulate people into certain behavior. Ironically, when an individual feels dissonance, it motivates him to look for ways to resolve the discomfort he is experiencing. Festinger stated ways how a person resolves dissonance. They avoid situations they believe will produce dissonance. Second, they seek out consonant information. They redefine dissonant cognitions as less important. Fourth, they change their dissonant cognitions. And lastly, they change their behavior to fit their cognitions.
And that has been information less than half a minute about cognitive dissonance theory.
Thank you for the knowledgeable information, Dennis Apuya. Let us hear also from Darwin Tabianan about the expectancy violation theory.
Expectancy violation theory emphasizes on an individual perception of the interaction in a particular situation. People, while communicating, will create an expectation of how others will react. Violation to this expectation can cause to a perception that will be a positive or a negative. People behave differently according to the cultural values they grow up in. This influences the reaction of the people considerably. This theory was proposed by Judy K. Borgen in the late 1970s and continued through the 1980s and 1990s as nonverbal expectancy violation theory based on Borgen's research studying proxemics. Example, a student wrote a controversial article about the school and he was called in the principal's office and he expected a suspension, and the result was the opposite and he was told to be a part of the editorial team. That has been an information less than half a minute about expectancy violation theory.
Thank you, Darwin, for sharing your brilliant ideas about your theory. For our last news, let us brace ourselves as we listen to the useful ideas of Magdalene Antonio.
Uncertainty reduction theory was originated by Charles R. Berkshire and Richard J. Calabres in 1975. People have the feelings of anxiety during initial interactions because they are unable to predict or control how the relationship will progress. To reduce uncertainty reduction theory focuses on initial interactions between strangers, suggesting that when strangers meet, their primary concern and motivation is that of gaining knowledge about the other person, thus creating a more predictable and controlled relationship. The examples of uncertainty reduction theory. A teacher tells two unaffected students that they will be working together on a project for the whole semester. The startled individuals stare at each other awkwardly for a few seconds. Each one is thinking the same thing. Will we get along? Will my partner take the project seriously? Finally, the two begin to chat casually and as time goes by, they get more comfortable. Uncertainty reduction is particularly important in relationship development. As the information gathered through observation interaction, it can be used to predict a person's behavior. And that has been an information less than half a minute about uncertainty reduction theory.
Thank you, Magdalene, for the wonderful ideas about the uncertainty reduction theory.
The proposal that we want to implement is in line with the importance of the different communication theories. To expand and to explore what communication is, we will show our insights about the different theories by producing an efficient and effective documentary and share it to offer like posting the videos in social media. This way, people will be able to have deeper interest about the nature and importance of communication. And they will also able to share and expand their insights about communication.
Communication is very important because it is the way that we understand each other. And that is all for today. Once again, thank you for choosing us.